Example 2 wants us to find the perimeter and the area of the model given. This is very similar to example 1. So let's start off by finding the perimeter. So we know that the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And so the length here is going to be 30 plus 7, which is 37 in this case. And then the width is 40 plus 9, which is 49. And there are no units given, so we'll just leave it as units. So the length is 37, and the width we found was 49. And so our handy dandy calculator says we have 2 times 37 plus 2 times 49, and we get 172 units. So that is our perimeter, and we also want to find the area. So the area of a rectangle, recall that the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. And in this case, that is equal to 37 times 49. 37 times 49 is equal to 1,813 units squared. So that's our area. And remember that we were able to find the area a second way in the previous example. So let's do the same thing here. I'm going to go a little bit quicker for each of these smaller rectangles inside. So the first big rectangle, the area is going to be 30 times 40, which is 1,200. This next one to the right is going to be 40 times 7. So that will have an area of 280 units squared. And then the bottom left rectangle will be 30 times 9, which is 270. And then the last rectangle in the bottom right corner, the smallest one, will be 9 times 7. So that's going to be 63 units squared. So let's go ahead and add all of those together. So we have 1,200 plus 280 plus 270 plus 63. And oh, look, that gives us the same value. So that's just a nice way to verify that our answer is correct. So 1,200 plus 280 plus 270 plus 63 is equal to 1,813 units squared. So that was just an additional check there. So these are just some follow-up questions to this last example that we just did. Go ahead and fill out these 3 portions. What did you notice? What do you want to try? What is something you heard or tried that you didn't understand yet? So I'll go ahead and let you fill these out. And 2 formulas that we want for a rectangle is the perimeter of a rectangle and the area of a rectangle. So the perimeter is equal to 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, and the area of a rectangle is equal to the length times the width. So those are 2 important formulas that you should have down. All right, so we're moving right along over to class activity 3. We're asked to find the missing dimensions of this rectangular model. So here we know that this rectangular piece has an area of 60,000 units squared, and we know that this dimension here is 200. And I'm just going to call this X, and I'll call that Y. And we know based off the area formula that the area is equal to 200 times x, but we know what the area is. We know that the area is 60,000. So we have the statement that 200 times some number gives us 60,000. And in order to figure out what that number is, we would want to use the opposite operation of division. So I'm going to take my equation and I'm going to divide both sides by 200. And that results in 300 is equal to x. Let's just verify that really quickly. So 60,000 divided by 200 gives you 300. So the x value here is equal to 300. Now we want to find y. So again, we know that this dimension is 80, and we know that the area is 7,200 units squared, and our goal is to find the length of y. So we know that the area of that rectangle is equal to 80 times y, but we also know that the area is equal to 7,200. And so now I can divide both sides by 80, and that gets rid of the 80 on the right-hand side, and we end up getting the equation y equals 7,200 divided by 80. And if we simplify that, we get y equals 90. So I'm going to put 90 here. So these are our two final answers. And if you want, you can just put units, since the units are not specified for the other dimensions. Now, there's a area here for notes to remember and reflection, so go ahead and write any additional notes that would be helpful for you. So this last section of this outline is a challenge activity. You have a blueprint of what looks like a home, and you're asked to use the scale legend to provide or to determine the total area for each room in the floor plan below. So here is the legend, and you're asked to find the dimensions, or sorry, the area of each room in this big house. I will leave this up to you if you would like to do this. And then, as always, if you have questions while you're doing this, feel free to ask me, and I'm happy to help you with that.